It is always game day in Cleveland. He's Daryl Ryder. I'm Andy Baskin. And we don't want to forget about our friends at BetQL, too. We always invite you to hang out with BetQL when you're trying to figure out how to do what you want to do when it comes to professional sports gambling, too. So I just wanted to bring that up. Just want to mention that, Daryl. Just wanted to bring that up for just one second.
Twice on the podcast, Andy. Look at you going above and beyond.
I just want to take care of the people that take care of us. How's that sound? And, boy, by the way, we really do appreciate everybody who's watching now. Everyone who's watching now on YouTube, because it's been great to have all of you on board, and we see you, we appreciate you, and we are so happy that you're on board, as well as, you know, listening to us on the Odyssey app, and also partaking in our Twitter and Instagram at Game Day CLE. All right, Daryl, let's talk about the game itself on Sunday. You tell me, what should we expect?
I want to say a defense optional type of game, but I just feel like the Browns defense has been upgraded. The Bengals are favored in the game, and I have to ask myself why that is.
Especially being in Cleveland, I thought the same thing.
And given all the upgrades that the Browns made defensively, so I don't understand that other than Vegas wants your money.
Probably.
I feel like really the Browns secondary working against the trio of receivers for the Bengals, that's going to be the matchup. Now, you could say Orlando Brown v. Myles Garrett, because that was one of the big reasons why the Bengals broke out the checkbook to sign Orlando Brown. But I feel like the Bengals receiving core against the Browns secondary is where this game is going to be won and lost.
I can buy that too. I think that's a great point, Daryl. I'm just really curious as we watch the Browns offensive line. I think that is going to be a really big spot to watch, because I've talked time and time again, Daryl, about, you know, watching Deshaun Watson be able to have sync and be able to be in the same rhythm as that offensive line. I don't know that we saw in the preseason, and I'm hoping that they're actually executing way better in practice that we don't get to see. But that is the one thing I think I'll keep my eye on the most is Deshaun Watson, his rhythm with the offensive line, the rhythm this team's going to be able to put together, because we know that the defense wants to play a little bit faster pace.
Right.
I'm wondering what we're going to look like as an offense. And if Deshaun Watson can run the ball, then why wouldn't you pick up the pace on offense, especially if you think that you've got Njoku and you've got Moore and you've got Peoples-Jones and you feel good about Marquise Goodwin. And let's not forget about Amari Cooper and, you know, what's Cedric Tillman going to be able to do. And I also want to see how David Bell gets in. So I just see all these little things along the way that I'm looking forward to watching at full force on Sunday against Cincinnati.
Yeah, the offense looks like it's really balanced now, right? They're not.
Yes, great word.
I mean, they're not having to depend on Nick Chubb to carry the load. Nick Chubb can now be used to basically finish games off, similar to what we saw in 2020 when they, volleyed back and forth between Chubb and Kareem Hunt. I feel like opposing defenses are going to be able to stack the boxes against Chubb this year. I think that's going to allow him to be even more prolific. He leads the NFL in explosive runs, not only in the fourth quarter, but just overall since he came into the league. And by explosive runs, we're talking 10-plus yards in a carry. And it's by a pretty significant margin. He's got a nice little lead in both of those categories. And I feel like he's going to be set up to have more of those. So he's not going to need as many carries to get his yardage totals that we've seen in years past, because they're not going to have to do that as much. And then also he's going to catch the ball out of the backfield too. So his role is going to be modified. Jerome Ford, let's see how he fits in. One area that I am concerned with, and that is the return game. I quite honestly have no expectation whatsoever that the Browns are going to do squat in the return game, because they didn't do much last year. I know that I know that last year they had the one punt return for a touchdown, but that was really about it that you saw in the return game. Donovan Peoples-Jones had that return. He's probably going to be the punt returner. Jerome Ford's going to be the kickoff returner. And yeah, like they just not a lot of explosiveness from the special teams unit. So if there's one area that I am concerned about with this team, Andy, going into this game, it's the return game. And what are they going to be able to do to set up the Browns offense? And then conversely, can they execute to provide the Browns defense with a lot more real estate that they get to defend?